Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 5. We are actually going to take a bit of a break this week from the Wastelands build that we were doing last week because we're going to rush through and build up a PvP island, and I'm hoping to get this entire PvP island done in today's episode. So as you can see, we're not over on the Arctic island that I've been doing up to build up towards the elephant graveyard. We are actually on a brand new island that I have just purchased. So we're here on, this is a temple island, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we're here on the temple island. I've done a little bit of work kind of pulling a few bits and pieces down from around here. So I've obviously missed a few, but there's been cornice pieces removed from all of these, and then there were pillars all the way up here as well. And I obviously started to remove a little bit of island from here too, because like I said, this week we are trying to build up an entire PvP stadium in 1 week's worth of episode. So I'm not really going to tell you too much more about the build right now. I'm going to show you the materials that I'm going to be using up to make this thing though. So first of all, we have, these are the base colors, and then these are for the buildings that are going to be inside the actual arena area. So this is based on a very retro now video game, very much beloved video game too. So try and guess below in the comments and see if you can actually pick what I'm going to be building just based on this color palette alone. But of course, we will get to finishing the build before the end of the episode as well. So I just also like to point out that large chests now actually do have lots and lots of storage capacity, lots more than just twice a single chest, so they're actually worth building. And I am going to be using these two from now on as my kind of build supplies. So anytime I go and I'm doing a really big build, or I'm doing a build that requires lots of materials, I'm going to be taking chests with me just to store everything up on build sites. So this is going to be quite an interesting episode, I think. The first thing I need to do though is I need to start crafting up some bridge slats and then knock down the rest of this temple. We're actually going to build out, I think, on this level here, so I don't have to remove too much because I want to keep all of this white in place and kind of build that and then incorporate that into the build, because as I said, the white is going to be my base color. I've also brought along some gold pickaxes because these are going to help chew through this playstone really quickly. As I think I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, gold and frost steel pickaxes will take out playstone in 2 hits, which is a really, really good tip for anybody who wants to remove a building that is already in place on an island or something like that. Another good tip for all of this type of stuff is to buy a temple island like I have here, because this build is not very big at all. It could be taken down very quickly and easily, and I am hoping that we're going to be able to do that in this episode today. Just completely strip this place down with absolutely no hassle. And then, once we've got this thing stripped down, we're going to build out the pad that is going to hold this PvP arena, and we're actually going to be doing it 52 blocks by 52 blocks, which is why I have so much windstone with me right now, and I'm probably even going to run out, because not only do I want to do a base pad, I also want to build up some walls to kind of wall off the area, and then it's probably going to be a good idea to build up some seating or something like that, because I want to try and build a nice PvP arena that a few different people can play in, and then also we can have some spectators up around the edges as well, and I think that's going to be quite cool. So I think the idea is to start the PvP arena here on this block and go forwards from here and then out to either side. I'm obviously going to have to remove some of these trees because they're probably going to get in my way. That's why I brought my spring trap. It's a lot easier to remove trees when you spring trap all the way up to the top and then just dig your way back down through. The outline for the arena is now in place, so you can have a look around the edge here and you can see where the arena is actually going to go. It's going to be relatively big, but not huge in terms of PvP standards. It's going to be alright. I think it should be fine for anywhere up to like 10 people maybe to be in at one time. But we're going to know more once I actually finish building this thing and get it up and running and see how it all goes. So obviously I've got a lot of clearing to do with some of these trees, because there is a lot of trees inside this area that I actually want to build on top of, which is going to be a little bit of a problem, but that's alright, we can clear those out pretty easily. I've already done a small amount of clearing here just kind of clearing the ones that got really close to the edges out here. There was a couple of trees out around this side that needed to disappear before I could get this ring up. But yeah, so this is it. This is the size of the stadium, and I'm pretty sure you can't even actually sprint from one side to the other without losing all of your stamina, which would be really good because that would mean you can't just like sprint up behind somebody and smack them. Okay, so about half stamina. Right, it's not too bad. You should be okay in terms of sneaking up behind somebody. But of course, there's going to be other buildings and stuff in amongst this area as well, so we're going to have to deal with all of those too, and we're going to build those in just a bit. But I think first it is time to fill out this pad and actually like clear out all of these trees. Also, while I was doing all of that type of stuff, I ended up crafting up a whole bunch of these bridge slats. So I now have almost a double chest worth of bridge slats. That may or may not be enough. I'll have to check it out later on in the build. Of course, I can also go home and deconstruct some more bleachwood blocks and make a few more of those, which is something I might end up having to do, but like I said, we'll see when we get down to using those. So yeah, for now, like I said, I need to clear this place out and keep cracking on. And there it is, the pad is now in place. I'm also joined by Onyx Eve right now, who is actually helping me mark out the next section for this PvP map. So we're actually building up 4 pretty much identical builds in the corners, and then hopefully later on we'll build some walls up around the edge. But for right now, what we want to do is get these builds up and running. So these things are going to be 20 blocks by 20 blocks. The original build that I'm running from doesn't have anything inside these, but because they're so big, I'm probably going to put just a little bit of stuff in the middle of them, just so to make it a little bit more interesting as a PvP map. And then, yeah, we've got a bit of a gap in between all of these blocks, so we're going to need to kind of keep going with these things. There's going to be ramps on the edges down the bottom here, and then once we've built up these kind of cubes, there's going to be a smaller 10 by 10 cube sitting on the top, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Yeah, so we're going to crack on and build up the walls for these. These are going to be 4 high each layer, so they're going to be quite massive structures, and that should make the PvP around here quite interesting, especially when you go in F12 mode and can't see where other players are by their tags. Onyx Eve was a huge help, so thanks a lot, Onyx. And why I say this is because basically we started working, and then before I knew it, we'd actually completed most of the structure of this PvP map. So I'm going to do a bit of a review here, because as soon as I've done this, you guys would know exactly what we've copied out to make this PvP island. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Bam! This is the block fort map from Mario Kart 64, I should say. So this is the map here. There are a few small things I need to change about it, and a few little bits and pieces that still need to be done. Yeah, but as you can see, we can run up here and run around here, and we can get up onto the top of these blocks. Look at this. Perfect. Of course, still need to put in more bridges and some more bridges along the top and stuff. I also want to push this white pad out a little bit and then build a giant wall around the entire thing, just to make it a little bit better and a little bit cleaner. And of course, if I've got time after I build a giant wall, I would like to build a little bit of a spectator area so people can jump up into the spectator area and check everything out. Now, this set of bridges here is all of the bridge slats that I had made and ready to go. So that's not enough, obviously. I'm going to need a hell of a lot more than what I've got here. So I think the first thing we're going to do now is jump over into a desert and head over to the Sunreach Palace adventure so I can collect up some more of this wood, and we can actually keep going with this and build up the rest of these bridge slats. Here we are in the world, so I'm getting attacked already. This world is actually kind of brutal, I think. But yeah, so here we are in the desert. There's the Sunreach Palace there already. That's pretty easy to find. And we've actually got beetle spawns. Oh, of course we do. A couple of days ago, I had a quest to come and kill lots of beetles, and I came into the desert and I couldn't find any at all. And now I have got rid of the quest, of course, I'm finding lots of them everywhere. That's just the way these things go. Really, it's a bit of a pain, but oh well. So of course, I'm going to scout around as I usually do, look for other locations and stuff like that. I need to stock myself up on some cactus to make sure that I don't die of heat, because it's actually getting pretty close up there right now. So this is one of the side quests for this adventure, and this is going to be really good because I'm already seeing quite a bit of wood around here, and that's exactly what I came in here for in the first place. So we can collect up a whole bunch while we're here before we even head in to the palace, which would be really nice. It means I won't have to knock out as many staircases while I'm in the palace, because it's definitely the easiest way to get bleach wood, as I was saying earlier. The palace is just amazing, because you can collect up all of those wood blocks, and then you can disassemble those wood blocks to get 4 pieces, and it's just one swing of a pickaxe for that, which is really, really quite nice. And I should have known that there would be people around here while I was opening chests. Thankfully, scimitars actually work really, really well, so you can pretty quickly and easily dispose of anybody that's around you or bothering you with a pair of scimitars, or even one scimitar, as the case currently is. So what we've stumbled upon here, this isn't a secondary location, this is actually a gold chest location. Now, the reason I know that is because it's too small and it doesn't actually have a name, so it's always going to be a gold chest location. Anything like that that you find that's just a tiny little building somewhere, kind of randomly in the middle of nowhere, that doesn't pop up a little name or a icon, a landmark icon above it, is your gold chest location. So you should be able to jump down into the bottom of those somewhere. I think this one has already been dug into because there was another player in this world, but usually, yeah, you can just dig through the floor or something and find gold chests like that. If you guys want me to, I will definitely put together a short video on how to find gold chests and their locations and stuff. I might even talk a little bit more in that video about loot goblins and other things that you can do to get lots of really cool loot in this game. Because there's a few different things, like I said, around the place that you can get recipes and all sorts of loot from. The second location here, this one looks pretty good as well. Probably going to have a few tougher enemies in here, so I might need to regen my stamina a little bit before we head in. Thankfully, the stamina regen is actually really quick these days. I think they've actually increased it recently, because I think it was a lot slower at the start of the alpha. Then again, it may also be to do with my explorer level or something. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't really done any testing with it. Wow, and there's the enemies. Although I was expecting something a little higher rank than just a couple of soldiers up here. But I guess it's more because I'm used to the older versions of the game where places like this would always have a kind of boss or a mini-boss involved somewhere along the line. So you'd always have to fight something relatively tough before you finished a level. So there is a little bit of windstone, windstone, it's not windstone, bleachwood in here, but I think I'm going to leave that alone. I don't really need it, especially as we're about to head into the palace, and the palace is going to have so much it's not even funny. So, this is the entrance to the palace. It's time to head on in. And yeah, so there are other players in this world, as evidenced by not only the shield, but also the doors being open, because usually these things would be closed if you were the first person there. And then, of course, this is what I was talking about. There's lots and lots of bleachwood blocks and staircases and all sorts of stuff like that around here. So that is perfect for me. This is exactly why I'm here, to collect all of this stuff up so that I can keep going with the build that we're doing. And I need to kill this guy off because he's going to be annoying. Of course, I'm not going to need all that much. I should only need about a stack, because that will break down into 4 stacks of blocks, which goes to 8 stacks of rod, and then that's going to be perfect. That's going to be way more than I need to make all the bridge slats for this build. And then this build is actually going to be very close to being done. I'm going to need to build up some walls, as I said earlier, but other than that, it's going to be pretty damn close to being finished, which I really like. I'm quite happy with how this build is going, actually. It's going pretty quickly, and it's actually looking pretty decent too, and I think it's going to make for quite a good PvP map. Continuing on through this adventure, we're actually about to head up into the main area of this adventure actually. We should be able to come up on that pretty soon. Coming to the main courtyard. That's where most of the enemies for this adventure are gonna hang out. We've got a few chests around here too that we should collect up on the way through. Just gonna take all for all of the chests right now. Might as well. Every now and again it's good to just take everything that is in all of the chests you run across. Just because there's sometimes some things that you go, oh yeah, I don't need that. But if you hit take all and do grab them, every now and again you'll get a quest for something that you would have otherwise discarded from a chest. So if we pop up and have a look at the map here, we've come in through this way. Out this way there is a dead-end crown room, so there's going to be a chest out here, and then obviously out where this person is here, this is where the boss is going to have to be, because there isn't really anywhere else that the boss can be for this adventure. So this should be the boss room, but it looks like whoever else is in this world has blocked this up, so we're going to have to go a bit of a unique way around here. See if we can find a way into this thing. Aha, this is the player up here. I'm not really sure why they blocked this up. There's not too many things spawned in here right now, but then again, having said that, they've kind of blocked the wall, so it is very possible that there's other things in here I can't see. And there's the captain all the way down at the back. This is going to be a bit of an interesting fight, because right now my sword is running quite low, so I don't think I quite have the sword durability to take on all of these mobs. So what I think I might do instead is pull my bow back out and take a few pot shots with my bow. See if we can kill some things off here. The bow, of course, has reduced damage in this alpha, but we seem to have killed off the captain just fine. So I'm going to take out the rest of these little guys. I'm just going to take these guys out. Of course, archers are still a big problem, even with nerf bow strength. Archers are just painful sometimes to be dealing with. Pull the shield back up. This guy's not got much health left, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem to deal with. Perfect. So yeah, this is just kind of odd as to why this person has blocked off the exit here. They haven't really said anything to me either, so it's not like they didn't want me in here. They just blocked off the exit for some reason. Alright, so I'm going to open this chest up and we'll see what's in here. Except for it's not letting me open this chest. Okay, looks like this chest has actually been bugged. So it's time to head home. I'll see you over on the other island. And we are back over onto this island, so it's time to keep working. Now, between the end of the last clip and getting back here, I also did stop off to grab some windstone. But the other thing that's happened is the game is now updated to Alpha 5.3, which currently means that you actually can't disassemble wood blocks. So the entire reason that we went out and did that run was to get wood blocks and get enough wood so that we could definitely finish this thing off right now. And we now can't disassemble these blocks, so I really, really wish I disassembled these just a little bit earlier, but that's what happens every now and again. So I stopped off at home and picked up a few extra pieces of wood before coming here by just knocking down the trees that I had around there. This is starting to look pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. I really like how this now looks with all of these bridges put in place. But despite the awesomeness of the clean look, I do think it is time to throw in some light sources around the place. So I've just started doing that over here, and as you can see, it kind of break up the edges of the blocks a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So I'm going to try and minimize how many lighting sources I do put around here. I'm going to try light the edges of the bridges like this, and then all of the corners, and I think that's going to be it, I reckon, for how many light sources I put around the place. It should be enough just to kind of keep it relatively illuminated. I might end up putting some in through the floor as well, but we'll see how we go on that front. It's going to be interesting though, because it's very, very hard to get your hands on white crystals these days, which is what I would be drawn to putting in the floor. So we'll see. But it might have to happen just to get enough light in around this place. I haven't actually checked this out yet. It's about to go dark on this island, so once it does, I'm going to check out how these light sources go and how much light they throw around the place. So now that all of this is getting pretty close to being done. There's just a few extra pieces to do. So as you can see, I've still got quite a lot of stone in my inventory. That's because we're going to build a wall around the outside, at least 8 high, because this top of this thing is 8 high, so it needs to be at least there, probably a little bit higher, I'm going to say. And then once we've done that, we're going to put a platform up there for spectators. And then also we're going to need a way to get into this area. So what I'm currently thinking is I'm going to have ladders in underneath these things going straight down into the ground and having a small area, probably about this by this, down in the ground with a room made out of the 4 colors and ladders leading up into these blocks. And then we'll have a staircase inside these blocks leading up to the 2nd floor, and then we'll have some form of hidden entrance and exit in and out through the sides of these blocks. Just so that when you come over here and do a PvP map, you can run in and you can then choose one of the 4 to jump up, which means that any of your opponents who are kind of in the arena already have a 1 in 4 chance of guessing where you're going to pop up. Which is really good because it means that people can't really spawn camp too much, which is probably a good thing. I don't really like it when people end up being able to spawn camp. The lighting in this place is coming along quite nicely, so while the sun goes down, we're just going to have a bit of a quick wander around here, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I've put in place. So I've put a whole bunch of beacons in here now, mostly on all of the corners in here, and then a few down in just the bottom row and near the bridges as well, just to kind of give a little bit more light and a little bit more color to some of the areas that don't have it when the sun goes down. Now, the other thing I've done is I've added a whole bunch of wall decorations around here. Not only do these make this entire thing feel just a little bit more SkySaga-like, but also they serve a hidden purpose. So just like in Alpha 4, these things serve as hidden doorways. So you can now actually run into this area, and then you can also get back out because I've added them on the lower level as well. So we're going to use these and build in here to build some form of like very small maze in around here. Just something that means that you can kind of pop out, attack somebody around this corner, run in here through a maze, and even upstairs. I'm probably going to add a 2nd floor onto this just so that you can get in and out of both levels. So you can kind of run into here and pop out another way and attack somebody else. Or you can run in here, hide in amongst the walls in here, and eat some food before jumping back out and joining in on the fight. I've said it a lot before and I'll say it again, I love the lighting effects in this game. They are awesome. Let's just get rid of the minimap so we can have a better look at this place. Check this out. The darker that it gets around here, the better I think this place looks. I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like the look of this place in the daytime, but just in the nighttime with all of the color effects from all of these beacons that we have around here, this place just comes into its own. It really does. And the wall is in place. So now this place is looking a little bit different. Oh, quite a lot different. It's just a gigantic white box right now. But of course, if we jump up over the staircase here, we'll see that everything exactly as it was before. So the wall at the top here is also going to have a bit of a lip so that I can put a small amount of kind of spectator area up the top here somewhere. And then also we're going to do up the player entrance. Now, the way I'm thinking I'm going to do this is because, of course, this wall is quite high. I am going to dig down below the ground, and we're actually going to have this path here. We're going to convert this path over to a Mario Kart style racetrack. And then the racetrack is going to kind of get to about here and then slope down into the room that is going to have the entrance into each of those. From the inside here, I think it actually looks pretty good. So it looks a lot better having this whole thing contained than it did before. I'm going to go over here and kill this chicken because I don't really want to have a chicken in this arena anywhere. There we go, perfect. So yeah, now it's on to getting all of this stuff sorted. I've started on the tunnel that's going to go down. I think we're going to go down 6 blocks, maybe a little bit more, and then we're going to have a nice big open room down the bottom. I'm probably even going to do that nice big open room in the colors of the teams as well. So the build is complete. It is time to have a look at this thing. But before we do, I'd just like to really thank Onyx Eve for her help with this project. She's been amazing. She helped out in the beginning, and she's also come in and helped out with the end of this project and just added some touches that I think really make this thing look awesome. So you can probably see already we've started standing on the roadway here. Now this roadway leads to, bam, the arena. So the arena is now set up properly. So we've got the wall and then some really nice little bunting and stuff along underneath the spectator area, and then these Mario-esque pipes, which were Onyx's idea. And this is why I really wanted to thank her, is that she's got some really good ideas and she really helped out quite a lot with this build. So yeah, these things I think look awesome, and this is actually the way up to the spectators area. So we're going to go up here first, and I'm just going to show you the spectators area. So the spectators area is nothing too special. There's just a big platform along here, and then this stuff in here you've seen before because this was all done and dusted before the end of the last cut. So here you go. This thing is still looking as good as ever in here. Now, the spectators area was only one section of the bit that we needed to finish up. So if we go back down to the bottom, you'll be able to see down here we have also done up the entrance area. So the entranceway is this road, obviously. So we've got the road. And then here we've got a big Mario turbo arrow. Hopefully that comes through alright. It was something that I was kind of humming and ahhing about, and it took a little while to get something that looked kind of decent. And once again, thanks to Onyx Eve again for helping with that and kind of pushing me in the right direction a little bit, because without her help this would have been an absolute mess. And then if we come down in here, we've got a little bit of a tunnel, and then we make our way down into the player's entrance area. Now this is the bit that I had cleared out last time. So I've now just kind of swapped over all of the stone for the right colors and added in some stone beacons giving off the right type of light. Now to get up into the arena, there are spring traps in the floor in the corners on each of these, and these catapult you directly up into the middle of one of the blocks. Now these blocks have walls and kind of mini mazes installed in them now, so some of them you can use to get from the lower level to the upper level, and other ones you can't. So if we go out here and jump across to the blue, if we go in through the side here in the blue, you can see there is no way down, and we just go straight out through the other side. So this thing was built because I have had an idea for a PvP challenge. So the PvP challenge is going to be held in here, or at least in part in this island, tomorrow actually, on Sunday for me. So once I have done up that challenge, I'm going to be posting a video with the rules and an explanation, and then the first half of the challenge, and then maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday we'll put up the second half of the challenge as well. So if you guys want to find out anything more about that, subscribe to the channel or follow me on Twitter, because I will be announcing when I put that video up. It's something that I'm pretty excited about, and I really hope you guys are going to enjoy, and I hope that it comes out to be a really interesting video to watch. So look out for that one tomorrow, and of course, as with last couple of weeks, we will have a community quest help video out tomorrow as well. So I will see you guys then.